Hi guys, I am Dr. Poorvi Bhatt. I am an AFN certified nutritionist and naturopathy doctor. I've completed my Bachelor's of Naturopathy and I just completed my Master's in Nutrition in King's College London. And at Analytical Minds today, I'm going to have a detailed discussion on how I got into an MSc program in King's. And I'm super excited to do this, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of history about what I did from the 12th. So bear with me and I'll try to keep it interesting, okay? So there's a couple of questions that I'm going to answer. I have a list I'm looking at, so if I keep looking away, you know why I'm looking away. But why did I choose BNYS after my 12th boards? Well, to be honest, I did my 12th standard twice, and it's not because I failed, it's because I went to a school which let me do very unique combinations. So I didn't do PCM or like arts or something. My first time in the 12th, I did ISC, and I did literature, biology, psychology, and art as my major subjects. So it was neither arts nor science because that's what I was passionate about, and I was like, I want to do exactly that. So after that, I was always supposed to study Ayurveda because my family works in Ayurveda, so it was always a plan. But I realized I didn't have physics and math. Like I have to do PCB to get into Ayurveda or any kind of medical system. So I was just like, oh my god, what do I do? So then I decided to take a gap year after the 12th, and I did the 12th again. So I was actually practicing Taekwondo professionally at the time, and I was practicing about 6 hours a day to compete in international and national tournaments. And side by side, I completed my 12th a second time with PCB via IGNO. So at the time, IGNO had a facility where you can do it in 1 year instead of 2 years. So I actually took another year and I had to do a lot of tuition and struggle a lot. And I finally finished the PCB. And then I thought, yeah, my life is chill, I'm going to do Ayurveda. I went and visited a couple of colleges, everything was fine. But then things happened, and I just felt like Ayurveda is not the right subject for me. I don't know why, like I didn't think about this 1 year before I did PCB, but one day I was just like, no, I don't want to do Ayurveda anymore. But I'd already spent a year like doing like all of the science stuff, and I obviously wanted to work in healthcare. Like I didn't want to get into another field. So then I stumbled upon this thing called naturopathy. So I just went to this college, and I only went to one college, spoke to the principal, and that evening I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna do naturopathy. And to be honest, I had no idea what naturopathy was, like no clue. And I just did it. Like I was just like, I want to do it, and I just joined. And then it was one hell of a ride. I think Shivam and I have made other videos about it. On my Instagram, I've made lots of posts about my journey and how it was and all of that, so you can check that out if you want to know more. When did I plan to do a master's degree, and when did I start applying for it? Obviously when you get into healthcare, you have to keep in mind that you're going to study for at least 10 years, like a minimum 10 years of your life you're going to be doing college. So I always knew I'm going to do a master's, but there was always a question about whether I should do an MD or an MSc, or should I just get into business or something else. And a lot of people told me to do an MD, to be honest, but I just did not want to do it for 3 years. To be honest, it was just not the career trajectory I wanted for myself. I didn't want to stay in the same environment where I finished my bachelor's. I wanted a new environment and wanted to acquire new skills which I had not already acquired. So for me personally, it made sense to do a master's. And I started applying right out of college, like right out of my bachelor's. I started applying very quickly actually. But I realized that I did a lot of research, and I didn't want to go to a university which doesn't have an extremely good reputation, because frankly, studying abroad is an expensive affair. And I really didn't want a substandard education for the amount of money I'm paying. I wanted to get into one of the top 30 or top 20 colleges in the world for sure. Like if I was going to pay that much money, I wanted that kind of master's. So I was looking at all the programs, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to pursue acupuncture or nutrition at the time. But finally I felt like food has always been my calling, and I wanted to do that. So I actually applied to a couple of colleges, and I got into ones that I didn't want to go to, and the ones I wanted to go to was King's and UCL, and I got rejected by both. So of course, like everything in life, I never give up. I'm okay with doing things twice. I'm okay with doing things again as long as it's what I want. So I think I did the very smart thing of starting to work. So I started to work as a nutritionist because Basically, what they told me when they rejected me was that you've done a naturopathy degree, so we don't think you can keep up with the nutrition program. Why don't you try something like public health, or why don't you try something simpler, which is not related to human life, like human sciences, so we can give you a seat. And I didn't want that. I wanted to do nutrition. So I worked as a nutritionist for a year, and I started interning. I started like building up my resume. I started building up my CV, and I also started gaining very, very, very valuable skills in actually what nutrition entails. And that year confirmed to me that I do want to work in nutrition, and this is the field that I am personally passionate about. And I was 100% sure that a master's in nutrition was the right program for me after that 1 year. So in many ways, I'm super glad that I didn't get in right away. I'm happy I got to take that year off and actually do this and work first before joining, because I think it would have been a mistake to do it right out of college. And any advice that I give to someone would be that work first before doing your master's. Work for a year or two. You will get clarity on what you want to do later in life, and you will not end up repeating mistakes, or you won't end up doing things that you can't apply clinically. Okay, so yeah, I started applying again after a year, and I told them, hey, listen, I'm working as a nutritionist, and these are all the skills I've developed in the last year since we spoke. And it worked. So I got into the college I wanted to, which was King's, and I was super stoked about it, obviously, because we'd worked really hard to get in, and I put in a lot of effort, a lot of perseverance, and it paid off, so I'm glad. But yeah, how did I apply for my master's degree abroad after BNYS? The application procedure is very, very simple. I don't know about other countries, but for the US, you have to write a couple of exams and you have to get your degree converted. I forgot what it's called, but you can Google it. You have to get your degree converted to another format, which is accepted by the US. For the UK, you just have to write an SOP. You have to show them your grades. You have to have good grades for this. I had good grades, so I was lucky. But if you don't have very good grades, it's unlikely that a good university is going to consider you. And you have to write a very, very strong statement of purpose, stating why you want to study in their college, and you have to really sell yourself to them. You have to have facts to back up everything you're saying. You can't just say, I want to study, like, let me study here. No, you have to give them a good 5 or 10 year plan. This is what I'm going to do with this degree. This is why I've chosen your college and not any other college. And this is why you should have me, because I'm going to contribute to this, and I'm going to potentially become this, which will be beneficial for you. So you have to sell yourself quite literally to these colleges, because they get thousands of applications every year. Like, they don't need you. You need to really fight for your way to get into these unis. If you want to go to a reputed uni, that is. It's not easy, but it's obviously comes with a very, very big advantage for you later as well. So yeah. What was my approximate range of costing for the entire admission procedure? To be honest, the UK is very, very expensive. Studying abroad is an expensive affair. You can't do it on a very, very tight budget unless you're willing to take a loan or something. I don't remember exactly, but I think each admission application in a good uni, they charge for your application, so you can't apply for free. You have to pay to apply. So I had to pay, I think, around £100 or £50, something like that. So it's around 5,000 to 10,000 rupees per application, and that's generally what it cost back when I applied. I don't know what it is now, though, to be honest. What's the next question? Did I take any bank loans? No, I didn't take any bank loans. My parents fund my entire education. So yeah, that's a no-brainer. I don't have any details. I have friends who've taken loans, and I don't know the procedure, so I can't really comment on this, to be honest. What is the cost for accommodation in London? This depends where you stay and how you want to live. The government of UK suggests that you keep a budget of £1,200 a month to live here. I would say if you're super stingy, maybe you could get off with £1,000 a month. But again, it really depends where you want to live, how much you have to travel, what your situation's like. It all depends on that. But I would say you need to keep at least £1,200 to £1,300 a month to live in the UK. Yeah, that's about 1.2 lakhs. Yeah, 1 lakh to 1.2 lakhs minimum you'll be needing to stay here in the UK per month. And again, I don't know about the rest of the UK. This is London. I don't know. It's probably a little bit cheaper in other cities, but I live in London, so this is what it is here. How was life at King's College? I had to do a lot of my course online because of COVID, but I would say university is what you make of it. Honestly, King's is a very, very supportive environment. Professors will help you if you ask for help. People will guide you if you ask for it. They will recommend you to jobs. They will give you opportunities, but they see thousands of students and really brilliant students. So you're like a tiny drop in a huge ocean. There's Nobel Prize laureates, there's big authors, there's celebrity dietitians I work with. Like literally they have those blue ticks on Instagram. They have like 500k followers. Like these are people on the team where I do research. So we are nothing there, okay? So you really have to be hardworking, you really have to be ready to learn, and you have to be humble. Like you cannot have that thing that I am great, or I did naturopathy, I'm a doctor. That ego is not going to get you anywhere here, because everybody here is super accomplished. And I was very keen to be in an environment where I'm the stupidest person, because I think that's an environment where you can grow and you can learn. And definitely the environment where I'm at, that is the situation. Like I'm probably like the dumbest person in my college in nutrition or something, and that's how it should be, because that means you learn and you look around people and you grow. So that's just my take on it. But King's is great. It's a very nurturing environment. The campus is beautiful. And some of my favorite authors like Keats went to King's, so I had a little celebrity moment because I studied Keats in literature and all of that, so that was really nice. But yeah, we have some really big names, and some of my professors, they're not celebrities, but for me they're my personal celebrities, because they've written papers, they've done things in their lives that only heroes can do, in my opinion. So the kind of work they've done about the gut bacteria, about the microbiome, about sleep, and it makes me so excited. Anyway, okay, enough about that. But yeah, it's a good environment. I was happy with my experience. I wish it wasn't online, to be honest. A lot of my degree was online. I would have loved if it wasn't online, but COVID happened and no one knew it was gonna happen. So I don't see the point in sitting and feeling bad for myself. I'd rather look at the future and see what else I can do to contribute, How did I expect such a life before leaving India? If not, how is it different? I think I came, like, I had no idea when I was coming. I just packed whatever I had and came, because my flight got rescheduled many times. I wasn't sure when I was actually going to show up. So I just kind of showed up with not much stuff, to be honest. And I stayed with my cousin and I had to look for a place to live. So that took about a month. And me and two of my friends, we found an apartment near college and we did all of that. I would just say you have to learn to kind of check your attitude a bit, because I find naturopathy doctors have a lot of attitude and ego that, we're doctors, we're this, we're that. You have to be willing to learn, especially when you come to a new country. All the things that you consider normal are kind of different here, because I didn't even know how to shop in the supermarket, because you have to scan your own stuff like in the machine and like pay for it. Like there's no one there like checking it out for you. So I had to learn everything from that to like how to get on the bus, because it's entirely different here. But if you're willing to learn and you're humble and you don't have that big ego, you don't feel bad to ask people and learn, and then it's very fun then. But yeah, it's been great. London's a beautiful city. I've been learning a lot. You meet a lot of interesting people. The community is very multicultural, so you can meet people from very, very different nationalities, different walks of life, and it's a great way to expand your horizons and understand how big the world is in terms of the market, in terms of the scope, in terms of these things. You can learn a lot by just being outside, I guess. How was studying during how was my studies? Studies was actually great. I was working through my master's. I had a freelance private practice, so I was just doing that through my master's, and it's been great, to be honest. Like it made sense for me to work and study at the same time, because I was able to apply what I was studying into my work, and I was able to apply my work into my studies. So my assignments were very influenced by the things that I learned while working. And while working, I would try out things that I was learning while studying. Like I would ask my clients, is it okay if we try this out or try that out? And I got to learn a lot, because I was doing two things at once. They kind of got merged in my brain. So I think it was a great experience, and that was really a good luck on my part. And what kind of job offer should I get after my degree completion? I don't know. That depends on you. There's loads of jobs for nutritionists. Some are more lucrative, some are less lucrative. To be honest, I always wanted to be in private practice. So I just want to work on my clients. I want to work on my private practice and stick to this. I'm also kind of working with my college. I kind of help with the research a bit, so that I've got that on the side as well. So you could get into the healthcare industry, you could get into the food industry, you could get into clinical practice, you could get into the research industry. I think those are the 4 main industries you can get into after this degree. You could also work in gyms, you can work in any kind of situation where people need healthcare advice. You could potentially have a role there. You could also work for a corporate setup in a wellness type of thing. You could also do that kind of work, I guess. But that's what I know. These are my experiences. Yeah.